you doing?
Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Wander to the Edge. My name is Adam Asher from The Edge of Adventure.
And I'm Zan, and I'm indestructible.
A lot of weird things happening today.
Yeah.
Great, great to be back. Great to be back.
Mm-hmm.
We have been on an unintended hiatus, Zan. We took I think, a couple of weeks off.
Yeah.
And tell us why, Zan.
I fell down, basically, is what happened. Everybody wants this great story about my broken arm. Um, I went on a trip up the Pacific Coast Highway. I was taking some photos. I went to turn and I wasn't paying attention to where I was walking. My toe hit a rock. I went flying out into the road and landed right on my arm. I broke my hand, my wrist in two places, and my elbow. So,
Yeah, and all joking and kidding aside, we're so thankful that you're okay. I mean, I know this is a very serious break, and I've broken my arm before,
yeah.
but it was nowhere near as serious as this. That would this break in the five
Yeah.
places. I know it's very serious, and it's been very painful.
Mm-hmm.
And I think back to that first week, we actually intended to do a show, but we had to decide not to because although Zan believes in the motto that the show must go on.
Mm-hmm.
We had to make an executive decision. I mean, she was in some pain. So, but
No, let's be honest. You made the executive decision because I also had to have surgery, so I have plates and screws and all sorts of fun stuff under this. And I was on painkillers. And you and I started talking, and you're like, you know what? We're not going to do the show today.
it was kind of, this isn't the Zan everybody wants to meet, or this the Zan they do want to meet, and you don't want them to meet that Zan. No, you've been even when you've been on the meds, you've been pretty normal, but no kidding, I can tell when you're in pain. I mean, it's been severe. So anyway, just wanted to catch everybody up. Zan is okay. Look at her; she looks great. You can tell she's feeling good, and I know it's still going to be a long road to get back to 100%, but she is okay, and Wander to the Edge is okay because we're back in business.
Adam,
And yeah,
why are you wearing a helmet?
because it's Saturday, and I'm going to go biking right after this.
Oh, okay.
I bought a brand new bike, and I'm going to go biking, and I just want to be ready. This is that way I can just
You could just
won't
go.
waste any time. I'm ready
Oh.
to get going. So,
Do the little bike shorts on.
ladies and gentlemen, today we have a great, great guest. Zan's going to tell us about Amy,
Yes.
and here's why. Here's why. Because Amy tends to wander.
Yes, she does. So we have on the show Amy, and she just told us how to say her last name. Adam, help me out.
Laichareonsup.
Thank you. And Amy likes ice cream. She likes hiking. She likes mountain climbing, and she likes rocks. So she and I have that in common, as you know. We are Gals Wander is all about trees and rocks. So really excited to have her on the show.
And she is a world traveler with
Yes,
some
she
great
is.
stories to tell. And we look forward to meeting her, getting to know her, and sharing that opportunity with you today, right here.
I'm Wander to the Edge. Hey, Amy.
Hi.
I kind of undersold you in that intro. I mean, I think when I look at all the things that you've done and all the things that we're going to talk about today, um, you have such an amazing story. I can't wait to dive in.
Thank you.
But listen, let's be fair. When Zan says that a person likes rocks and trees, that's basically the highest compliment
Yeah.
because those things are important to Zan.
they're so important.
Okay, Amy, seriously, did I say your last name anywhere near correct?
Perfectly.
Okay. Laichareonsup.
Like,
Okay. And of course, your brand online, when people can find you on Instagram, is Amy Tends to Wander. Why
yes.
did you choose that?
Um, that's a good question. I think it was because I wanted wander in my handle, but everything that had to do with wanderlust was already taken. So I had to come up with something different.
You
And
wanted Where
that's,
Gals Wander, but somebody had already taken
I
that.
think so. I think
Yeah.
that's what it was.
And,
I
that-
snapped up everything with wander that I could. I have gals wander. I have where gals wander. I have wandered to the edge. So
It's okay. It worked out.
um, but yeah, so she, as she mentioned, you are into hiking, rock climbing, some of these I would think of sort of adventure sports. Has that been a thing that you have done a long time? Is that something that's been kind of a lifelong pursuit, or is it more recent?
It's funny because I didn't grow up around the outdoors. My family and we did road trips, but we would just stop and take pictures and then continue. There wasn't really much involvement. So that was something I discovered later on in life. I think it was a few years back. I went on a long trek. It was to Mount Kerinci in Indonesia. That was when I first experienced hiking in all its glory, like just untouched beauty. And there were very few people on the trail. I didn't start hiking locally. I didn't start hiking locally until COVID hit. And that's when I started exploring a lot more.
yeah. Is that the same time that you started your Instagram account as well?
I started my Instagram account when I started traveling in 2012. That's when I was gone for 6 years. Before that, I was Amy is a dubstep zombie because that genre of music I was into.
Dubstep. Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like Amy Tends to Wander much better, but that's just my own preference.
I mean, I do too now in retrospect.
Yeah.
But it's funny.
And look, I mean, dubstep was hot for like 18 months, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, in sunny England.
So you talk about Amy is a dubstep zombie, and yet you're traveling for 6 straight years. So tell us a little bit, like, how did that get started, and where did you go?
Well, I Los Angeles. I was born and raised in Los Angeles. I was there for a good long time, just running around the rat race, trying to make ends meet. And finally, I said, I'm tired of this. I'm just tired of being tired. I stored everything at my dad's, and I booked a one-way flight to Barcelona. Traveled around Western Europe for a few months, and then ended up in Southeast Asia, where I stayed for about 6 years. And I have family in Bangkok as well, so that helped.
I was reading on your website, of course, that you, for many years of your life, you spent the summers in Bangkok.
I
right?
did.
Okay.
I did.
And of course, now you're saying you've got family there. Another interesting thing, which is something that always jumps out to me anytime there's a tie-in with languages, I always find that fascinating. You speak what you say. You speak a rare Asian language, or an Asian language that is
I
at least
speak Thai.
Thai. Okay, so it's only. But what was you said? It's only spoken in two
It's
countries.
only really spoken in Thailand and a neighboring country, Laos. Other than that, it's pretty unused.
Yeah, but you've used it in terms of being a translator or an interpreter,
I have.
right?
I have. But only Thai to English, English to Thai, nothing extreme.
Those languages are pretty different from one another, right?
Thai and English? Oh,
Yes.
very, very, very.
Right. And you don't have the English letters, right? I mean, you've got this whole different alphabet.
You have a whole different alphabet and different sounds. There's only one tense. So the words used to denote tense, there's no conjugating anything.
Actually, that could be good.
I was going to say, does that make it easier or harder?
I mean, it's not an easy language to learn to begin with, so I would say harder.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it helps when you grow up hearing it. And even though when I was little, I was like, I'm an American, I'm not going to speak this. My parents speak it to me, to my brother. I absorbed it. And then when it came time to use it, it was so much easier.
Yeah. So I'm always fascinated when people make the decision to just pick up, put all their stuff in storage or sell everything and buy a one-way ticket, right? And so what drove you to finally make that decision? And then, of course, how did you sort of support yourself during those 6 years?
Well, I knew I was going to leave, so I just worked a bunch of jobs. I did some online translation gigs. Those were remote. Yeah, basically just saved up a bunch. And then I ended up teaching English when funds started running low. I ended up teaching English in rural Thailand for a few semesters. After that, I ended up getting a job at an evacuation company in Bangkok. So I worked there part-time, and then I also taught corporate English at a company nearby.
And so when you're teaching English, you just show up at the school and say, hey, need anyone to teach English? Or it's want ads that you respond back to?
I met some other travelers that were teaching in schools in that area, and they kind of referred me. Basically, you can just show up and ask if anyone is hiring.
Got it.
Mm.
Amy tends to wander. That's what we've heard, and that's her Instagram handle. And I was looking here at this other screen. So if you see me looking over this direction, I'm looking at this other screen where I will pull up some of the stuff that she has on Instagram. You can see some of her Instagram account. We'll share some of those pictures. Some of them are interesting. There's a couple there she's going to have to explain because I don't know what was going on there. But one of the things we will learn about her today is that she has a passion for volcanoes.
Mm-hmm.
I really do.
What is up with that?
Just that they're still very alive, very, very alive. Every couple of 100 meters that you go, the flora and fauna changes, the landscape changes. Just maybe the fact that there's something fuming and could explode at any given moment, I think that's exciting. Not to mention the view when you get to the top.
So what are some of the different volcanoes that you've climbed?
The one I mentioned earlier, Mount Kerinci, that's in Sumatra. What's the other one? Kilimanjaro is another volcano in Tanzania that I climbed with a team. I think that was 2 years ago. 3 years ago. I'm trying to recall the one in Guatemala.
And what is going on in this photo?
Yeah, this is the one where I was going to say she's going to have to explain this.
It was Utah Renaissance Festival and Fantasy Fair, and the theme was pirates. So my friend, who is a belly dancer and fire dancer, she dressed me up, and we just wandered around when she wasn't performing and took pictures like this.
That's awesome. I love Renaissance fairs. When we lived in Illinois, we used to go up to the one in Milwaukee, or just over the border, but in Wisconsin all the time. And my girls and I, we have like the costumes and everything. So it's so hot out here in Southern
It's so
California.
hot.
Yeah.
It was
We
hot
tried to-
that weekend too in Utah.
Yeah. So
Okay, I
Adam-
remember. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, Adam, you would fit right in at a Renaissance fair. Have you ever gone?
It's a good turkey leg.
We had one of those. I thought she was crazy because I ate a piece and then she finished the whole thing. And she's probably half, well, up to my shoulder.
So we're looking at the pictures here of you rock climbing and some of the great places that you've been. I also know that there is a volcano on your must visit list, which is in Argentina, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes.
When are you going to go there? I
I
know.
was supposed to go this year and then all the things happened. So I mean, the volcano will be there.
Yeah.
I hope so.
I hope so. I
If
hope
it's not,
so.
if it's not, we have bigger problems.
If it hasn't done something cool.
Yeah.
Right.
So you talk about wanting to kind of take that danger hike, right? Up the volcano, not knowing what's going to happen, kind of taking that risk. What is a time or an example of a time where you've been at risk? You found yourself maybe in too risky of a situation or too dangerous of a situation?
I would say that's mostly weather. When I see the sky or the sky produces something, that's when I tell myself or my team to turn around. That's about it. We haven't really been in any extreme situations.
So Amy says she's good unless the sky opens up.
Hails, thunders, lightning.
Yeah.
None of that. Thank you.
So you can climb volcanoes and be perfectly fine. I try and cross the street and this happens to me, basically, is what you're saying.
I mean, I told you what happened. I came home from a long trek and I had my toe on a nightstand. I thought it was just a stub. It was broken.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a similar story. It's like, it's nothing cool. I stubbed my toe on a nightstand.
Yeah. Oh, that's an amazing photo.
This looks like a volcano. Where was this?
That was in Sicily. That was in some part of the Western Europe trip in 2012. I didn't hike that one, the tram up, because I wasn't into hiking back then. This one is
You
the
were
one
more
that I
into
couldn't
tramming.
remember the name. This one was very steep. And I hadn't,
Yes,
I
this
actually just wanted to take a leisure trip. I had no thing. I was just going to hang out by Lake Atitlan. And I saw this beautiful cone and I had to go for it.
And that's just when you started hiking, correct?
Yes, yes. That was around the time.
Okay.
So there's another thing that I have read about you, which is if someone says to you, "Hey, I'll meet you in Myanmar," your answer is usually, "Sure." When? Okay.
Right.
First thing you have to do, you got to help people out here. Where is Myanmar?
Myanmar is Burma. Name for political reasons.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
But do you have ties to Myanmar, or what's the significance of Myanmar? Have you been there? Do you?
It's a joke. It's an inside joke that's anymore. I met a friend named Chris who will basically meet me anywhere in the world on a whim. We met in Laos in 2012 over 13, I think. And he said, let's more. And I said, okay. And then we did. It's not very exciting, but that was that.
And how did you meet Chris?
On house.
So you're on a chicken bus, and I'm assuming that's just a bus full of chickens?
It's just a big bus full of what people in Southeast Asia like to do is load up as much as they can into these rickety old buses. And it could be humans, produce, whatever, motorbikes. And that's how I met my friend Chris. He was traveling with another girl at the time. We're still friends too. That was a very long bus ride because the infrastructure in Laos is it's not fully together.
Some of the favorite places that you've traveled in Asia would be what?
In Asia, Laos, Myanmar, Vietnam, Indonesia, Nepal, Sri Lanka.
So basically all of Asia is what you're telling me.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
You've been to a lot of places.
I've been to a few. There's still a lot more. Hopefully
And
time.
what do you? I mean, you've been quite a few places. What do you like about these places? What makes it say? What stands out to you and say that this was a cool place, and the culture. What do you like about it? What makes you want to go back?
The people are very important. If I don't feel safe or comfortable or at home, it's probably not a good place for me to be. If I feel like I'm taken in and everywhere I go, usually I travel alone. So to me, to feel safe and wander around day or night and not have to worry about that, that's very important. So that's one thing. The food, I guess that goes with culture. I don't necessarily like to travel to places that are easy to get to. So it has to be a very untouched with beautiful scenery. So those places mark off those things.
I'm noticing a theme that you really just like a challenge.
I do.
Yeah.
She
I
likes
do.
danger.
Yeah.
And she likes to travel alone.
Not all the time, but
yeah. But even as a woman sort of traveling alone, do you have any sort of words of advice or anything that you would want to pass on? I know that you're a member of the Hiker Babes community as well, an ambassador, I think. Also,
yes.
Can maybe share with us a little bit about that?
I mean, it's just like even if you're in your home city, you just need to keep your wits about you. No matter where you go in your city or the world, there's going to be pockets of dangerous places. So you just exercise caution and just always.
Yeah.
Another interesting trivia, something that's very, very unusual about you, Amy. You like ice cream.
Love ice cream.
Why don't you like sherbet?
Not creamy-ish.
Okay, I don't like it either. You like the real stuff. Favorite flavor?
I like butterfat ice cream or gelato.
Do you have a favorite flavor that you go for?
Okay, I'm very specific. There's an ice cream parlor in San Diego. It's called Hammond's. And my flavor there is called Pandan Vanilla or Vanilla Pandan, which is it's a leaf that they boil to extract the flavor in Southeast Asia. It doesn't taste like anything in America.
Huh.
It's just herbaceous.
Adam,
Delicious and a little bit savory. You have to go try it.
Sounds like we're making a trip to San Diego.
yeah,
Yes.
well, I'm going to be in San Diego in December, Adam.
San Diego.
Hammond.
Yeah.
Hammond's.
So what do you
I'll have
think,
to check
Amy?
that out.
Are you able to get out and travel yet? Some people are still holding back, waiting a little bit. Some have begun to brave it and travel safely, but to begin to travel again. Where are you in that process, and where do you want to go next? I mean, I know you talked about the Argentina thing, but is there anything on the horizon?
On the horizon, I really just want to go and hug my niece. She's in Bangkok. That's all I can think about right now.
Yeah.
I would love to go back to Nepal. But yeah, hugging the niece is on the priority.
Well, that'll be pretty special, and I hope that happens real soon.
Me
Thank
too.
you.
Because she needs to hug her aunt.
Yeah.
Yes, we need to hug it out. Maybe she'll.
That'll
Do
be
you
wonderful.
have any plans?
Just this show. I've got some plans. I hope this fall to make a trip. I haven't decided exactly where that's going to be. I hope to make a trip to someplace unusual, not one of the places that I've been.
Right.
I've had the opportunity recently. I've been to Mexico and back. I've been to Brazil and back, and that was nice. That kind of helped to give me that sense of getting out and seeing the world. But in terms of going someplace brand new, a little bit adventurous, though I haven't chosen the location, I have chosen the time. And so this fall, I want to make a trip, go somewhere, spend a week, and do something, adventurous in that regard. So we have
That's
to
amazing.
stay tuned on the location, but it's definitely time. Miss it for
Yeah.
sure. And I know Zan would love to. She got out recently, and it didn't go well. We've already discussed that.
I went within the course of 8 weeks. I went to Nevada. I went to
Mhm.
Lake Tahoe. I went to Phoenix. I went up the Pacific Coast Highway. And now I'm not going anywhere for a while. It's not until this comes off. So,
Hopefully soon.
yeah.
Zan, isn't there a picture posted on Wander to the Edge Facebook, I think, where people can go and electronically sign your pass? Right?
Todd Scott and Tom Thrash, somehow, I don't know how they did it. You guys are the tech guys, but they electronically signed my cast, and it was awesome. So just thanks for everybody too who have been checking in and well wishing in that. Adam, do you want to talk about your project, or do you want to wait on that?
So I mean, I'm really close. I got to be honest too. Of course, we've taken a couple of weeks off here from Wander to the Edge, and that was largely due to your situation. But I've been pretty busy too. I mean, behind the scenes, I've do what so many of us do, which is get the website up to date and the content and the creation of these things to kind of get things where they need to be. And I've been motivated to do that because I am within, as of right now, again, this is Saturday. So I'd like to say that within a week or two, I will be launching an app. And the app, I'm going to tell you more about it soon, but it will be designed and built for those of us who have a passion for adventure and purpose. And it'll be a location for us to share our own stories and our own audio and video and pictures and stories and reflections, and just kind of a place for us to share a bit more about this thing that means so much to us, travel, and how it affects us and who we are and who the people are that we get to meet and those kind of things. So it's just a little bit of a sneak peek. It is forthcoming. I hope within a couple of weeks we'll be launching it, and I'm going to put out some special invitations. There'll be no charge. I mean, it's not, it would be free to join, but I definitely will want to get that out where my friends here on Wander to the Edge have the opportunity, if they want to be a part of it, because I think it's going to be pretty special, and it will be if everybody
I've seen it.
joins.
I have seen it. I got a sneak peek just for a moment, but it looks great. Can you share the name of it, or you want to wait?
Well, sure, I will. Well, I'm afraid if I do that, then people will go try to find it,
Oh,
and I'm
but
not
it's
ready
a cool
yet.
name.
It is. So here's what I'm going to say. Stay tuned.
Okay.
That will release that maybe as early as next week. But as of right now, it's still not in the app stores, but it will be very, very soon. So keep your eye out on that. Anyway, thanks for letting me talk about that. It's a great Saturday. I've got my bike helmet here. I am ready to go biking. I used to bike. I used to bike a lot more, and that was the time I broke my arm.
Oh, really? It was
Um,
biking?
Yeah, that I was biking, and bless his heart, as we say here in the South, a young child, as I was passing them on the left, and the little kid was with his family. He was on a cute little bike, and he pulled out in front of me, and I managed not to plow into him, but I did hit his back tire and basically T-boned his back tire. My bike stopped. I did not. And that was when I broke my arm. But that's been several years. But I never replaced the bike, and the bike at the time, it wasn't worth repairing. And I just, I'll come back to this. And as things do happen, then you wake up. It's been years. And you're like, wait a minute, what's going on here? I got to get back to this. So, bought a new bike, bought a new helmet, and probably should put on some what do you call them? Put on some arm guards. But I'm going to go have a good time. Do you bike, Amy? Have you? I mean, with all the different outdoor activities,
it's a lot of work. I don't do it regularly.
Yeah, people say that, and you have to go for the type of exercise that you like,
that you enjoy.
And some people like to,
or you won't.
Some people like to jog. I don't like to jog. Now I do like to hike. But in terms of really doing something challenging, and I don't put me on a stationary bike. And there are other people who prefer a stationary bike. They don't want to be on a real bike. But to me, being on a bike in the gym is the dumbest thing ever.
It sounds like a nightmare. Like, I want to be outside. I want to hear all the sounds and smell all the things. And yes.
And the thing I like, and of course I need to get back to it, and I'm excited about it, obviously, but it's one of those things where you completely expend all the energy. Like, you're going up a hill and you give everything you have to get to the top of the hill, and then you're able to coast a second or two or three or 30 and rest enough to then keep on plowing and keep going. So I think that's that, and the fact that when you are biking, you're going somewhere, and I think that tends my love of travel and adventure, their sense of I started here and now I'm here.
Right.
That is part of.
Are you going to bike out here to California and see me and Amy?
That would be great.
I probably won't. I doubt I will bike out there because I'm not Forrest Gump. But
there's ice cream.
Yeah, but there is ice cream. But I will go out there and visit you guys, and hopefully very soon. It's another thing for this calendar year that we should plan, and then we could just do a Wander to the Edge, a couple episodes from California, all of us.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
that would be very cool.
And then for your bike, considering what happened the last time, you need to get one of those little bells for your bicycle. So if someone gets in your way or whatever.
I know that, because if I do that and you ring, if you ring that bell, that kid will turn around thinking it's the ice cream truck. I mean, I don't want that. It can be dangerous, obviously, and that was just kind of a bit of a fluke, but it happens. Anyway, thanks everybody for your interest in my biking and in the brand new app.
Helmet back on.
In the helmet and the bike. The app that's coming out.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what the name of it is very soon, and you'll be able to go to the
Yeah.
You'll be able to go to the app stores and get that. And
Yeah. So is this helmet going up next to the adventure hat, the cowboy Stetson hat on the wall? Are we just going to start like a whole collection of like hats? That should be your new Instagram account or your TikTok account that we keep trying to get you to have, like hats by Adam,
or like
or Adam wears a hat.
The helmet
The
that
beard-
wanders.
the beard that bikes. How about that?
Yes. Oh, I like that.
Yes,
I
I like
do.
that one too.
Yes.
I can't wait. I mean, honestly, there is no sense of freedom greater than feeling the wind in your beard.
I can't relate.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta go. The sun's gonna go down if I don't.
All
I gotta
right.
get out there and go biking. But ladies, great to have this time to
meeting
chat.
you
Zan, good
both.
to see you. Amy,
I
great.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, it
to
was
meet
great.
you. You're fascinating.
Yeah, it was great to finally meet you face to face, Amy, after all this time on Insta. So thank you.
So great. Thank you very much. Enjoy.
All right.
Thank you, and we will meet you in Myanmar one of these days soon.
I hope
Yeah.
so. Cheers.
All right.
All right,
Take
great
care.
to see you. Thank you so much, Amy. Zan,
Thank you.
take us home.
Thank you all for joining us today on Wander to the Edge.